what was already going to be a fun season just got a little funner, baby. Woo! As I'm sure you've already heard, the Montreal Canadiens went out and acquired Patrik Laine and a second-round pick from the Columbus Blue Jackets in return for defenseman Jordan Harris. Kent Hughes goes out and gets value for his depth defenseman. Goes to show you how valuable these guys are in the NHL. If you're a defenseman who has experience and you're young, you hold some value. Kent Hughes wielded that, and he brings in Patrik Laine, the right-handed elite sniper. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, he has had a tough couple of years. Battled through some addiction issues and has had a hard time finding his place with the Columbus Blue Jackets. But like many others in the history of the NHL and in the history of the Montreal Canadiens, I could see this being a player who comes into Montreal and potentially has some of the best years of his career. Clearly a very talented player, but he was always plagued with some sort of either attitude issue or off-ice behavior that didn't jive with being a professional NHL player. Let's be real. But from what I can see, he looks fired up. He looks healthy. He's gone through the NHL assistance program, and he's ready to go. He has already been quoted as saying he doesn't want to come into Montreal and be a 30-goal scorer. He's looking to get back to his 40 and 50 goal scoring ways. Could you imagine? I just cannot believe the Montreal Canadiens are going into this season with the right-handed shots of Cole Caulfield and Patrik Laine on the right side, or on the offhand on the power play. Those are two disgusting releases that this team is going to be now able to disguise very, very well. Plus the line combinations we could start talking about here. Does Laine line up with Kirby Dach and Josh Anderson, or does he see some time with Suzuki up on that first line? It's hard to say. Now, obviously, not only is the fact that his stats have taken a bit of a dip the last couple years, and he's had the adversity that he's battled through, but he's also a defensive liability. Now, what I will say about that is that Montreal is already a team chocked full of guys who play very well on the other side of the puck. I think this is a huge message being sent to the team that the tide is turning. We're ready to compete. And I think this is a huge message that Kent has sent to his players, sent to the fans now, that we're entering a new era for the Montreal Canadiens. And while there is risk attached bringing in Patrik Laine at $8.7 million per year, there's only 2 years left on the contract. Now, he does become an unrestricted free agent at the end of that, so we don't necessarily have bargaining rights with him. But if he likes Montreal, he rejuvenates his career, who's to say we couldn't work out an extension? Now, he is highly paid, but, you know, Montreal has a very nice internal cap structure working out here. You know, even with the Patrik Laine contract and with Jordan Harris coming out, we're, you know, slightly over the cap right now at $2 million, but as soon as the season begins, we get Carey Price going to long-term injured reserve, and that opens up about $8.5 million. So this team is in a position where they could take the risk of Patrik Laine and, you know, hope that he can play up to what his true potential is for that 8.2 that he makes per year, 8.7, because they're just exiting their rebuild stage, and they kind of have some open cap to play with here. And they still have some guys on entry-level deals that won't need their, you know, their long-term deals done yet. And by the time Patrik Laine comes off the books, we'll be able to work those contracts out and then also maybe work out a deal for Patrik if he is fitting well in Montreal. I just can't believe that that we're going into the season now with him. Like I said, this season was already going to be exciting. This team has so much young talent coming up the pipes, graduating into the NHL, ready to make the next step in the NHL. I mean, there'll be lots of time to talk about it. We got the season coming up here in just a few weeks, month or so. We're going to have preseason starting. So I'm still planning my last couple episodes of this limited edition series. And I'm very excited to bring you guys some fun content. Hope you're all enjoying the huge news today and celebrating this acquisition of Patrik Laine. This team just got a whole lot better. A team with a surplus of defensemen ships out a guy that they have been shopping for a bit now and likely was the odd man out, and they bring in the scoring that they need. And it's another guy that is 26 years old. He fits into that age range of the core of this Montreal Canadiens team, and I'm sure it has excited the players. Huge thank you to Jordan Harris. He has played some incredible minutes for the Montreal Canadiens, including in our huge playoff run. But he has been a absolutely fantastic player for this organization and stand-up professional. I think he has a great career ahead of him, and I wish him nothing the best in Columbus. They got a good one as well, strengthening their D-core with a player who I think is truly ready to play some strong top 4 minutes, and just wasn't going to get them in Montreal, and he will get them in Columbus. I think he'll strive. Patrik Laine is a Montreal Canadien, baby. Woo! Go Habs, go!